everyone? What is going on? This is the very first installment of Procrastinate with Elevate. We decided since we are all stuck at home, we wanted to release something each week that would allow us to procrastinate just a portion of your day with you. You literally don't have to think about anything else during this time. For some of us, that's not going to be very hard. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to see some familiar faces, and we're going to leave with our brand new takeout challenge. We'll probably have a super awesome graphic right here, just so you know when this is live. Really great graphic. To start, here's a baby making you smile.
Bag pimp, I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet.
Oh man, that baby. We're in a season right now where we are surrounded by bad news. I don't know what channels you watch or what websites you're on, but everything is bad news. And so here's some news that we thought might make you smile. On Wednesday, April 8th, Tyler Perry, otherwise known as Madea, paid for the shopping bills of all senior citizens at over 44 different supermarkets in the Atlanta metro area. Come on, let's hear it for Tyler Perry. Here's something that might make you smile. Uber Eats has partnered with the Met Council in New York to deliver 500 meals to Holocaust survivors for Passover. They're staying inside during this pandemic, but they can still celebrate Passover. That's awesome. Here's something that might make you smile. In Tunisia, 150 Tunisian workers, mostly women, have isolated themselves in a factory for a month. Why? To make masks. They've already created tens of thousands of masks to be distributed throughout the world. Here's something that might make you smile. In this neighborhood, a neighbor discovered that their elderly neighbor didn't have Wi-Fi, and they invited her to join theirs. After walking through the process, she received over 70 messages from her children living overseas. That's crazy. It's amazing what a simple act, a simple gesture of kindness can mean to someone. See, these stories, they're all international. They're all over the nation, all over the world. Well, what do you have? Come on, send us some stories that might make us smile so that we can share them with others to make them smile as well. Something that actually did make me smile this week was the opportunity to sit down with a familiar face. Check this out. Luke Lauber, what's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Dude, we're just doing this whole thing, this whole stay-at-home, shelter-in-place, quarantine thing. Hey, I do want to let you know, you are my first ever official video podcast interview. I don't know how honored you feel in this moment, but
I'll tell you what, if you're not first, you're last.
there you go.
Words I've lived by.
There you go. Dude, what are you
So
up to
whoever's
now?
after me is last. I don't
Not
care
important.
if we're second, third, they're last. So
Not important. So how's life? What are you up to? What are you doing?
It is good. I am staying inside right now. So that's really my life, I think, along with everybody else. On the warm days, I try to go walk or run outside and keep my distance from people, but still try to smile at them while they're passing, even though they do not back.
Yeah.
I think people think when I say hi to them, it's just so they get very upset, even though we're like 20 feet apart. But it's all right. It's cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Where are you working now? What are you doing?
so I work at a church in Kansas City called Grace Church. I actually work with Chris Fetters and
Hey.
Russell to some level. We're not all together, but we work at the same place. So we work in different areas right now. But yeah, work there. I am the worship arts director. So kind of what that means is I get to work with a bunch of different artists. And really the easiest way is give them and help them just use their gifts to share the gospel. So
Yeah.
whether they're dancers, videographers, music, whatever it is, I just get to hopefully help them just be who God's created them to be and change the world with the gospel through that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the projects that you've done. that you've put out over the last year or two. And dude, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always tell people it's God just brings people, and so it's this feeling of you're just a part of it. You're not like leading anything necessarily, because God just always like dumps stuff in, and different people with different giftings just come at the most insane times where you're like, holy smokes, like we needed that right now. And so it's just, it feels like you're just a part of something that God's just doing. And so it's a blast. I don't know. It's a dream job in a lot of ways of just like, you're just like, how do I get to do this and just, be around people that just inspire me continually to just be better at everything. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being inspired, you, for those who don't know, were a part of Elevate Student Ministry for how long? When did you start, and when did you transition out? What's kind of your year there?
I think it was about 4 or 5 years. I always get a little blurry about it, but I think I came out of college and then started going to Mountain Springs. And then about a year after that, I kind of started working there, which was a crazy, crazy story. And then I was there for about 4 or 5 years. So I think I was 27. So 22 to 23 to 27, 28 years old.
Okay.
So somewhere in there.
That's
I'm not
good.
A numbers guy. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a feeler. I'm a feeler. It felt like 4 years.
So what year did you head to Kansas City? Was that 2015?
17 or 8? No, wait. Yeah. Oops. What year is it now?
Well,
it's the year of March.
It feels like it's been 2020 for about 16 years.
Yeah, right.
So.
So I would have left in 2014. That's when I would have left.
Wow. Within Elevate, I'm sure that crew that you guys had working at the time, I've heard some crazy stories. What's like your favorite memory? Like when you think of Elevate, what's something that pops out immediately to you?
I think just personally, like it was such a fun time because me and Chris actually, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want me admitting this, but like we look back at that time and like we didn't know what we were doing. We just had a passion for, kids to know Jesus, and we were doing anything and everything to just hopefully do that. So it was such a learning time of just trying things and being like, oh, that didn't work. And, and sometimes you're like, holy smokes, that worked. And so there's just so many, I think, the worship at Avalanche even when I was there a few years ago with you guys, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if much in life, if anything, gets better than that. And just to see what you guys are doing now, even online, and just I see you guys post stuff every once in a while. And gosh, like it's just so cool to see just the spirit that you guys have. And so it's just all those things. A funny memory that still to this day I laugh about is we did a skit back in the day. And I just remember there was this skit with, I think, superheroes. I think it was like a Halloween thing or something. Okay. And I just remember I was on stage as something, and Proud to Be an American just started blaring on the speakers, and this spotlight just shone into the crowd. And Seth Enos was pulling Russell Schultz on this little cart, and Russell was Captain America waving a flag, and he was just getting pulled through the crowd. And it was the most like pathetic yet epic thing I ever seen in my life, because here's Captain America waving this huge American flag, just being pulled on this dinky little cart through the crowd. And I remember I just started like busting out laughing because it was absolutely priceless. And then Captain America had a British accent, and that made it even better.
So one thing that I know that because we talk about a lot, but that comes up a lot to us is the song War Cry that you wrote. And so we'll go ahead, like we'll put this. Is there a music video to this song? I feel like at some point something needs to come up.
No,
We'll put
there
the
isn't.
Spotify link in the description of this for those that don't know.
Yeah.
But what was your, if you remember, what was your
Yeah.
process of writing that song?
Um,
And did you know
yeah.
that it would last so long?
Oh, no, I mean, music's always crazy because for me, everybody's different with this stuff, but for me, you always, I think I just want to write a song that I like. And so, um, and then you just never know if other people will like it. So I think that's always the hard thing. I was just like, it'd be really cool to write a song about like just something about like, you know, um, I know the devil's trying to do something, and that's really kind of where it started. And I just started messing around with the chord progression, and it just so happened. I don't think it really happened very fast, but I remember all of a sudden just being at a point in life where I felt like I was in the same cycle of frustration and just like kind of what the heck's going on? Where are you, God? And I just felt like I was at this point where I was like, I have nothing left to say. I just want to like, you know, and
Yeah.
that's all I had. And so I just kind of started, I think, writing that chorus of, I know the devil's knocking at my door. I'm not going to let him push me anymore. No more. The wonderful English that I have vocabulary. And it just was a song that I think just was where I was at. But yeah, it just was, I don't know. At the time, I felt just kind of like I was going through a period of learning a lot about God's grace and forgiveness, and just how he was for me. And so I think it just kind of all that kind of came together in one song of like, I'm not fighting this alone. I know you're with me and you're fighting. And I just love the idea of like God having this war chant that like
Yeah.
he's has, and we're like joining with that when we worship and are with him. And so it's like sometimes I know for myself I can feel like I'm alone in a battle, but to just be reminded of actually God's fighting this, and I'm just there with him. And it's like that kind of Aslan, in
Yeah.
Narnia, just that kind of roar where you're like, okay, I got some confidence now.
Yeah,
So that's
that's so
probably kind
cool.
of where it all came together. But yeah, as far as the longevity of it, yeah, I mean, you just never, I still to this day, you create stuff hoping that people will be touched by it, that it will inspire them to hang on or seek the Lord. And so, but you never know. And so when that
Right.
does happen, it's I'm sure even sermons and stuff like that, when people are just like, man, God spoke to me through that. It's I mean, I remember when we finally recorded it, like people would just um, email me or get a hold of me somehow, and just the stories of how it got them through certain things in life. You're just like, holy smokes, like how are we as humans allowed to be a part of such an amazing thing that God just
Right.
is like, here, I want you to be a part of this. And so it's always just a huge honor, because I know there are just so many things in life and songs that have helped me get through life that I'm just like, wow, to be that in somebody's life is just that. It's just, yeah, you don't even,
Yeah.
you're not worthy of it,
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I feel that on such a regular basis. When you
yeah,
said, "Well, I like it. I hope someone else likes it." Like
yeah.
that's
And
preaching
that's,
too. It's just
yeah, it's that vulnerability. I think that you're just like kind of, to me anyways, even to this day when we do stuff, it's just like taking a step off the ledge and hoping
yeah.
something's there, and sometimes it's not, and you're like, oh gosh,
That sucks.
that hurt. But I think that's part of the journey with God too, is you learn and you grow, and you fail and you get back up and you just keep going and learn from it, and that's the beauty of it, is God's in the middle of all of it. And so,
You've obviously learned a lot through this process. So if there was 1 year of your life that you could go back and live that year with the knowledge that you have now, what year would that be for you?
I think it would probably honestly be my early 20s. I think for so much of my life, I was scared to fail. Um, I did everything I could to do the safe route or to not fail or do something I knew without a shadow of a doubt would work, because I thought just failure would have been the worst possible outcome. And I think now that I'm older, I wish somebody would have told me, hey, go out and just take chances, do what you feel like you're supposed to do or what God's calling you to do, and just do it and give it your all. And because I meet and talk to so many people in their young 20s now who are just, oh, I don't want to mess up my life. Like, how do
Yeah.
I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? And it's like, well, what do you want to do? What do you feel like God's calling me to do? And then it's like, well, this, but it's not, it's not secure. It's not this. And it's like, oh man, like just don't even, like, just go do it and don't be
Yeah.
afraid. And if you fail, it's okay. Like everybody fails. And what's the quote? If you're not failing, you're not trying. And so it's just I think I wish I would have gone back and just I would have been a lot less stressed. Let's put it that way. If I would have been so afraid
Right.
of failing so much.
Yeah,
So,
I relate with that. I feel like that. Especially like, so I came out of a student ministry. I graduated in high school in a student ministry that was very successful. It had really large numbers, and so I had this mentality going into student ministry of, okay, in order to be a successful pastor, like I have to have these big numbers and I have to have,
yeah.
like baptisms every week. And man, when just set yourself up to fail, because it's just not, God's got so much different plans
Oh yeah.
than what we
Well,
define as success. So
yeah, that's crazy. I actually, I just texted Russell and Chris this yesterday, because even though I say that, I still struggle with being okay with failing.
yeah.
uh, but I read this quote: "Following the Holy Spirit is risky, and you never get to determine the outcomes."
Hmm.
And I think that's just so countercultural sometimes, because I know for my life, like I can be concerned what people think or how's this going to play out. But to just say, okay, God, what are you calling me to do? Because sometimes in my life, when I have listened and had the courage to do what God's called me to do, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, it's still, looking back, it was the most beautiful times of life, and
Yeah.
God just grew me so much and taught me so much. And even to this day, if I was to tell people, they would think it was like, well, why did you do that? Why would you do that? And it's like, well, I don't know, I just felt like God wanted me to. And it's like, well, didn't that cause you pain or this or that? And it's like, well, yeah, but I don't know, God, it's just that hard
Yep.
explanation of, you just know. And so I think that's hard. It's hard to do that. But there's a beauty in that, because you just see God move in the crazy, most unexplainable ways.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest lessons to learn is that uh, failure in the world's eyes can be success in the kingdom of God. And so
Oh,
really trying to figure out like where's this fine line of, okay, this really hurt and this really
mm,
sucked, but I've grown exponentially because of it. And I've seen God work in my life in a way that I never could have imagined because of it. But okay, so you love documentaries. What's your especially in this season of quarantine, staying at home, what's your like go-to binge show?
so that is actually, I don't necessarily have a show I watch over and over, because I don't know. I'm a kind of one and done guy, where it's just, I watch it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So, but I do love stories about stuff like that. So I love documentaries of like, how do people get to where they were?
Yeah.
And to just see the humanity of them, because I think so many times when you see what they've done, you kind of can, quote unquote, idolize them, if you will. Or put them on this like, oh, they had to have done everything right and made all the right moves, but to see the struggle that people go through to
Yeah.
do things is, I watched Walt Disney's his thing, too. It's just crazy, like how these people have to struggle so much, but how they change so much. And I think to me as Christians, like, sometimes I can be like, oh, it's too hard. God, this is God closing the door, and sometimes it's like, no, it's just tough, and just keep walking and see, and fail, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And to just get back up. So,
I want to do a little game right now, and it's called Explain the Picture. And so just so everyone's aware, this is a public photo. You put it on your Facebook, so it's not anything that like I'm stealing from you.
okay,
But I
wait,
just need
hold
you
on. What
to
am I supposed
explain.
to? Oh,
Can you explain this picture?
the only way I could explain it is I was in college and I was experimenting with it.
There's a few things that maybe you were experimenting with. So
Oh my gosh. Hey, let that be a lesson to anybody watching in high school, that the things that you do, because that's probably like over a decade ago, and that's come back to haunt me now. I didn't even know that was out there.
Dude, so just so you know, it's out there, and
That's okay.
yeah,
I'm sure if that's the first one, there's some worse ones that are about that.
you know what? I'm just gonna say there was a couple other options, and we decided for this family friendly show that we would just leave it. We'd leave it with that one. Okay, I want to end this time with two things. First thing is we were going to create a top 3 list, and I was like, oh, Luke, top 3 cheat foods. But you had a really good point that I can relate with. And what did you say? What was it?
I said, what if your cheat foods are just regular foods? Like when I heard of cheat foods and people were telling me, I was like, what is that? And they were telling me, it's like, you mean the stuff I just eat every day? People don't do that. Like they only eat it once a week as a cheat meal, and then you just started to feel bad about yourself at that point. Like the decisions that got you to that point in life.
Yeah, you're just like, wait a second, you're just describing my life right now. Like
people compact that into a meal.
Do you ever find yourself in a situation like that, and you like are super embarrassed, and so you find yourself like trying to belong with? Oh yeah, oh my gosh, who would eat Pop-Tarts? And
yeah, who would eat Chipotle every day? Oh,
every
just a
day.
cheat meal.
Gosh,
Am
wow,
I right?
I don't know. It's just what. No, they don't know my name, and I don't have a
Oh my
regular.
God.
But it's.
I remember being so baffled by it. I just felt horrible. I just was like, oh man, you mean people just don't do this every day? Like, I didn't know. I kind of went into a dark spiral for like, I don't know, until I ate again.
And then it was like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. Wait, what
This
are
is
you
my
eating?
life.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with your peas.
Yeah, cheating on my happiness is what that is. So
yeah, exactly. You get it.
Yeah. So obviously we're in a crazy season right now, and we're all just trying to survive. What is something that this season is teaching you? Like maybe something that's really hard or something that's really exciting on the other end of that spectrum. Like what's life teaching you right now?
I think honestly, it's so funny how just things work out in life. And I literally just got done reading this book right before everything happened. I think it's pretty popular right now, but it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And I was reading it and just kind of like, I don't feel like I'm a super busy person compared to most people, but just my brain doesn't really shut down. And so I was feeling just kind of stressed and anxious for a little bit. And I was like, something's got to change, and just began to realize, like, I thought it was normal that people's brains just don't shut down. But to find that, you need to have space for it to stop thinking, to stop, just to be. And so one of the other things that I really pulled from it was which is such a simple concept, but was brought back into just the forefront of my mind, was just to be present. And so I'm I'll be in a moment like this and be thinking about the things that I got to do next, which just steals so much joy from my life, and just fullness. And so I think God's just really, I got done reading that book, and like, I think the next week it was like forced staying at home or whatever this is all called. And so it's just kind of been that like, okay, like how do I just be still? And then the hard thing, but the cool thing is when that happens, I think naturally things start coming to the surface, that you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Inside, and just feelings and thoughts. And so it's been really cool in the fact that even though it's been hard, um, I fully believe God allows things or brings things to the surface to heal and to deal, and not to make you feel ashamed or anything like that, but to just heal you. And so I
Yeah.
think there's just been a lot of healing that's been going on because of just being still and
Yeah.
being present. And so it's kind of been really, in all honesty, as weird as it sounds, I feel just a lot more at peace and just whole right now than I've probably felt in a while. And so it's just kind of been cool to see that.
Man, it's been such a blast to just
Yeah, man.
hang out and chat and catch up. And man, we're praying for you, and we love catching up and just seeing all the amazing things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And dude, I love you, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Have a good one, buddy.
Now is the time that I bring my man Colton into the show, and we decided we'd play a little game this week, and we are calling this game Bad Dad Jokes. Okay, so here's how this works: is we're going to go back and forth, and we're just going to read dad jokes to each other, and if you can get the other person to laugh, you get a point. If you laugh, you give the other person a point at any point, okay? So we're just going to do this. We're going to go back and forth. I'm sure this game also is going to have an amazing graphic that we'll put right here, and that will help explain the game. So, Colton, you ready?
No. Well, let's do it anyway.
Okay. All right. You want to go first?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, first question. Serious face now. What's blue and smells like red paint?
I have no idea.
Blue paint. That is 1 point for me. Let's go.
Oh, so okay. Did you know the first French fries were actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece. Dang, I thought that was a good one. Okay. That kind of counts like that.
Nope.
Okay. All right,
I'm
go.
clearing my throat. Okay.
Go.
What is green, red, blue, yellow, purple, and orange?
Oh my gosh, a rainbow.
Colors.
Mm-hmm. I'll pass on that one. Okay.
All right.
How many lips does a flower have? 2 lips.
That should not have been funny. Oh, my word. Okay. Guess who I saw today?
Who'd you see today?
Everybody I looked at.
Of course. I should have known that one. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity.
Oh.
It's impossible to put down. Dang it. Okay. All right. Back to the drawing board. Okay.
Did you know that math is the only subject that counts?
I did.
It's good.
Is there a punchline, or is that just the joke?
That's it. That's the joke.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. How do you cut the ocean in half?
That is a point for me, my friend.
Hold on. With a seesaw.
Ah.
Oh gosh.
Gotcha.
I thought that was a winner. That even lost me a point. Okay.
Plagiarism. It's getting in trouble for something you didn't do.
Oh, no, that doesn't count. That doesn't. It took me. That took too long. That took too long for me to get. Sorry, I'm not smart enough for that one.
Okay.
Did you hear that Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight? It was a family feud. That's creative. I feel like that's creative.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Want to know what makes me smile?
What makes you smile?
Face muscles.
Nope. Nope. Silent laughs doesn't count. Why can't you hear the pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Why?
Because the P is silent.
Wow. 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 That's all I can say to that one. Just wow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's the best thing about elevator jokes?
I have no idea.
They work on so many levels.
Okay. What do you call the father of all sodas? Pop.
Nice. Not that funny, but nice.
I like it.
How do you find Will Smith in the snow?
You look for Fresh Prince?
Yeah, you stole my punchline.
I got it. I just knew that one.
There we go.
What did the buffalo say to his son when he dropped him off at school?
Bye, son.
Yeah.
So does it count if I give you your punchline? And you laugh? Do I get the point then?
I don't know. Did you have that joke written down somewhere?
It's literally right in front of me. I was going to tell that one next.
Okay. I got one more. Oh man. Why did the Invisible Man turn down the job offer? He just couldn't see himself doing it.
Nope.
No, that's a lot.
No.
That counts. Okay, someone tally up the points and let's see who the winner is. This is what we are calling our brand new Takeout Challenge. Here's what's going to happen. Every week, we are going to give you a challenge. And if between now and Wednesday, you can complete this challenge and send us a picture or a video of you doing whatever we challenge you to do, you will be entered into a drawing to win takeout. We will order you pizza. We'll do some Uber Eats. We'll do some Grubhub. We'll do some curbside. Whatever works for you and your family, you win this challenge, and we will order you dinner. This week's Takeout Challenge is brought to us by a Houston resident. There's a Houston resident and a single mother, Tina Hernandez, that was badly injured in a car accident. And even though she survived, she had to learn how to walk again. To help with the bills, for years, her 14-year-old son, Elijah Cosio, has been getting up at 5 a.m. every morning to bake desserts to then sell in town after school. Elijah's story has already touched the hearts of many, and his GoFundMe has already raised more than $16,000. Come on, Elijah. That's awesome. So here is this week's challenge. We want you to serve your family. Do something to let your family know that you love them. One idea and a great way to do this is chores. Figure out how you can do a chore without being asked, and then take a picture or record yourself doing a productive chore that would show that your family that you love them and that you care for them. So do that. Send it to us by Wednesday. You can either email it to us. You can send it to us on Instagram or on Facebook or on Snapchat. And you will be entered into a drawing to win some takeout. Man, what an awesome time to just hang out and procrastinate just a little piece of our day together. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week. But on your way out, here's our favorite TikTok video of the week.